Hey, everybody. Okay, I haven't fixed the audio. I will do that. So I'm going to try to talk louder. Today, we're going to talk about justice and the sense of not getting any justice when you're the target victim of a mobbing. So here we go. Say you're going through a harassment situation at work, like a couple of the people that have commented are, all right? In any case, you're going through a situation of harassment. It's your boss. He or she is picking on you relentlessly. But they're not just picking on you, they're picking on other people. You know what? You might be able to get some external justice in a case like this, all right? That means that you'll likely have somebody in your corner saying, yeah, he does. I saw him pick on you. Okay. If you have a decent rapport with your colleagues, etc., etc. So, but we'll get to that. I'll get back to that. All right. So that's like saying a case of harassment or in a case of bullying when they're razzing you, hazing you, picking on you, making fun of you, doing weird things to make you kind of doubt yourself. Like, oh my God, somebody said there were ghosts in the office, for instance. I mean, and then they put all kinds of scary sounds on. Horrible, but, people, I guess, are immature enough to do this kind of stuff sometimes. But you could probably get some kind of justice because you have stuff that's proven. As long as you clock it, all right? Dates, times, events, like the moment you start to sniff that something is off. Ideally, you'll have somebody support this, like a witness, right? Because sometimes people deny the entire thing, but certain events are kind of hard to deny, right? You'd have to have everybody lying, et cetera, et cetera. Now, when you're a mobbing victim or target, the problem is a lot of it is gaslighting. All right. So again, like, oh, they yawned during the meeting, or you know what, they laughed in my face as I was walking by, or they keep rolling their eyes at me. It's all stuff that's deniable. And often, if not, especially when it comes to reactive mobbing, chances are management is involved and the higher ups are involved. All right. And even if you go to administration or your union, and these days, depending on the type of workplace you work in, unions aren't what they used to be. Union members are often in bed with management and HR departments, etc. At least that was the case where I was at. Everybody's kind of going on vacation together, and it is what it is. You never saw this back in the old school days, all right? And in the old school days, there was a different notion of justice. Say, we could even take it from the schoolyard. Kid would poke you in the eye, or, if I can make fun of you or whatever, you'd clock him one and you'd be okay to have done that. These days, the person who retaliates becomes the bad guy. So, flipping the page, getting back to what I was initially speaking about, notions of justice. So, if you're the victim of bullying or harassment, you could potentially get an external version of justice. So what do I mean by that? Well, somebody else wrote a really interesting comment saying, hey, look, I sued, or I threatened to sue. My bosses, they settled for $5,000. It was really good. Awesome. I mean, why not, right? Why be out anything in a situation like this? But then again, you have to have at least some kind of provable stuff. Okay, so keep a good paper trail, et cetera, et cetera. I suggest you still do that in a mobbing situation, but for different reasons. So, justice. Now, depending on the nature of your job, depending on a lot of factors, you got to prioritize what you're looking for. Like, I'm talking from my perspective. Like I said, I can only talk from this perspective. But sometimes people present me scenarios. It makes me think, right? I've never been in those scenarios. Maybe y'all have something to add in. It would be awesome if you did add it in. But here we go. So if you're in a situation where your boss is treating you like crap, all right, micromanaging the heck out of you, you have witnesses to this, you've kept good records of the whole thing, and you know what, it's just that last time that he squeezes you, you're done. Like, you're kind of fed up of this kind of behavior, or you suspect you're going to be fired, right, because you're taking a bit of a stand and challenging the person. Well, this is where those diary notes come in really handy, and this is where self-control comes in handy too. Now, if the job is worth keeping, and what that means is, look, if it's a job that provides good benefits, a decent salary, the possibility to climb up the ladder, something that you are looking for, all right, and you're not ready and willing to give it up because of one jerk or a couple of jerks, then don't give it up. then that's a case whereby, I still suggest you take a day off work, a couple of days off, you make them wonder and think what the hell is going on. You construct a very nice letter, you talk to a couple of your colleagues, maybe a couple of you could get together if you're not unionized, or if you are unionized, this is the kind of stuff you could go see the union about, all right? Because it might not be this targeted thing with everybody involved. They might not be trying to squeeze you out. You might just have a jerk boss, right? Who needs to be put in his place. Now, if it's a job that, doesn't offer good benefits or a great salary, and you're not going to go anywhere and it's a dead-end job, look for something better. But it doesn't mean you have to abandon the notion of seeking justice. There are a lot of great resources out there. I'm going to post a couple of links to them, all right? You can always, if you want, you can make it a pet project. Like, I'm bringing that guy down. Hey, look, man, if that's what you feel, and again, don't make it the focus of your life. Life is short. We got stuff to do. But you know what? It could be a side or pet project for you. And it might give you that great sense of satisfaction. And if it does, all the more power to you. I think that's not a bad idea at all. But if you make it the central focus of your life, I wouldn't recommend that for a variety of reasons. Number one, say it's a crappy job. It's a crappy job. Who cares? Okay, the guy's a jerk. There are a lot of jerks in life. You want to make that your central focus? You're going to waste a lot of time and energy on what? You may not ever get that justice. You got to understand, right? You got to know when it's time to turn the page. Like I said, if you have decent expectations and you're like, you know what, I'm going to give this guy a hard time. He gave me a hard time, or her a hard time, whatever. You know what? Do it. Why not? But keep your expectations in check, because external justice doesn't always come. All right? Now, in a case of a mobbing, the chances of you getting any external justice are slim to none. I'm sorry. It is what it is. There are people who, get mobbed and spend their whole lives, they'll write books, they'll talk, they'll tweet. Like, look at me. I'm making these videos. But it's not the focus of my life. I got other stuff going on. But at the same time, I figure it's good information to share. All right? There are a lot of people with a lot to say, a lot of different perspectives. But like I said, a lot of people like to commodify pain. The pink t-shirts for anti-bullying, all the more power to you if you like wearing those things. It does nothing. It doesn't really solve or help the situation. The system is made this way. All right? Most of the times, bosses who are narcissistic, look, in our society today, they're everywhere. How do you think they climbed the ladder? Do you think they did it the good old-fashioned way, just work hard? And look, part of it is that, and a lot of it is politics. Look at our politicians. All right? So many of them are like under 45 years old. It's insane. They're babies. They're career politicians. They got in by the time they're 20. I've worked for government, in clerical level positions. I'll tell you this, climbing the ladder, you could be the best at your job, and if you're really good at it, you're going to stay at that job and schlep, all right? But if you sniff up accordingly, you'll move up the ladder. You got to kiss up to the right people. So when I look at these people, I look at it with the filter, of course, of my experiences. I'm not looking at them as the best and brightest necessarily, all right? And if I'm expecting them to dole out justice, my expectations are screwed. So how is justice going to come from the very people who kowtowed to the system and made it up the ladder this way? Forget about it, all right? So again, if you're going to claw onto that notion of justice, and like I said, if you're being harassed, and like I said, a great paper trail, all right, some witnesses, if you're being bullied and you want to fight back in terms of getting that external justice, you have a chance. Mobbings, like I said, especially of the reactive variety, where management is involved and they just want to get you the hell out of there, good luck, all right? In my case, there's a class action going on. I have the opportunity to join in or not. Truth is, I haven't decided yet as to what I'm going to do. I'm kind of biding my time, understanding, of course, that I do have some I can't say it's exactly concrete evidence. I'm a pretty decent writer. I have patterns of behavior established. It is what it is. But I know that if I jump into that arena, that's going to take up a big portion of my time in my life. And, in terms of the payoff, if the potential payoff is good enough, well, maybe I will invest my time in terms of that. It depends on one situation. You got to balance it out and weigh it out. And keep your expectations in check, all right? Like I said, I'm on Twitter, And a lot of the people that are tweeting that have been through workplace mobbing have written books, and talk about it all the time and how people broke their lives. Look, they can't break. Truth is, you got to give them that power. Screw them. Like I said, if you don't fit in that system, find where you do fit. Make your own little system. That's what I recommend. Anyhow, hope it wasn't too rambly. Hope this is loud enough. Next time, hubby's going to help me with the audio because I know it's a bit of an issue. And cry me a river. Thank you very much for pointing that out. And I'll be back soon with other videos. If you have any comments, suggestions, questions, queries, if you'd like to subscribe, please do. Agree, disagree. Again, sometimes you give me really good food for thought, and not just me. I'm hoping other people are reading this stuff, and that's that. I wish y'all a great day. Foxy D, signing off. Namaste, everybody. Ciao.